Back home, and business groups are demanding smaller wage increases for low-income workers to reduce inflation and unemployment. Joining me is Amanda Rose, founder and CEO of Small Business Women Australia, the boss lady herself. This is a really tricky one. It's very tricky because both need it.
Exactly. So I think it's unfair to just dump on small businesses and say, if you don't give or if you don't support a wage increase, you're a horrible person. They want to support their staff. I've never met a small business owner that doesn't want to support their staff, right? They're a close-knit community. It's the fact they can't afford it. So if you're getting someone who, for example, entry-level roles shouldn't be paid the same as an accountant, and that's just fact. And we do need to look after the people who are struggling and they're trying to survive. But the government can't just say, well, you know what, we'll just make businesses pay you more. End of story. What they don't realise is that business will close their doors. They will stop working on the weekends if it's a hospitality venue. They'll just shut down or they'll cut back on staff. So instead of having 20, they might have 10 because they can't afford the increase. So it'll backfire and unemployment will go up.
They don't like dealing with the house sometimes, do they? Now, small businesses and entrepreneurs are hurt the most in the budget, do you think?
Yeah, so what's interesting and quite frustrating is how much money is going to overseas companies and how much incentive is happening for big business and foreign investors instead of the entrepreneurial space. The entrepreneurial world and community in particular in Australia is amazing. I work with them, both male and female, and the ideas and what they come up with is fantastic. We need funding for them. Like one example would be the Boosting Female Founders Initiative the Liberal Party brought in. That needs to keep going. So it helps female entrepreneurs take off with that funding they need at the beginning, which is the hardest part. And with the cost of living crisis, it's even harder to get a business going. We should be investing in our entrepreneurial minds, not just handing money to big business or universities only.
Because that's what's going to make money later, isn't it?
That's right.
Absolutely. Now, the $300 energy relief, it's been welcomed by many.
Yes.
It's been welcomed. It's quite controversial. One thing that I think on this front is these people saying, oh, no, I don't need it, I don't need it. Well, how about you help someone else?
Sure.
I think that is a really important thing that isn't as prevalent as when we were growing up, is that individual benevolence, that individual charity.
That's right, and that's a really good point because I think the government made a mistake by giving it to absolutely everyone. I think that was quite lazy and, I don't know, a little sinister, the fact that the big retail energy companies get the money and not the individual type thing. But you're right, I think if you don't need that rebate or if you don't need that money, pull some cash out of your account, go and find a charity, a local community charity, not the big ones that get money in bequests, but the local small ones that help grassroots people that are struggling and give them money.
Yeah, because the gap between government funding and benevolence, we say it every time at charity events, is huge. So in any way that you can help, even a very small way, is a big help. Now, HEX, what do you think of the whole HEX thing? I just miss HEX. I'm old enough to have just missed it.
Well, what I don't like is that the government's trying to claim that they've helped a lot of people by saving them billions of dollars in debt. But really, they shouldn't have increased the indexation. They should have changed it. They should have actually said, no, we're going to keep it at 3.2%. We're not going to take it up to 7.1%. What they did is they brought it up. People were literally in so much fear, mental health issues, depression, stress, and they said, no, we'll bring it back. But can I just say, this was a result of people power. So the Teals did a petition and they pushed the government hard on this HEX. That is key. We actually need to remind people that you do have the power, you can push back, you can lobby the government from the grassroots, and this is a classic case of why we need independence.
Absolutely. Now, philanthropy report by the Productivity Commission.
I know, a lot of people don't know about this, so they actually did a very important report, pretty much investigating ways to increase philanthropy in Australia. The government wants to double the investment of private philanthropic giving. There's good and bad to that. Good is it actually fills the gaps from government that they're not doing. The bad is they decide what they want to invest in. So if there are areas in society that are needed, they need help, if that private fund doesn't want to focus on it, they don't have to.
Let's do this again next week.